How you doing? I'm Dr. Paul Dyer. Welcome to a podcast. This is a lecture I gave on trauma and the brain. And it's the same day that the shooting happened in California at the synagogue. We definitely need to understand what we are manifesting and where our trauma is coming from. And then we need to learn how to communicate. So you take a listen to this, and I hope you enjoy the lecture.
You sure like the big postcard? Here you go, man.
Thank you.
I don't want to interrupt your tweeting.
That's really anti-tweeting.
So, we're going to get started because the way my mind works, my kids actually call me like the Black Sheldon. So, if anyone knows anything about the Big Bang Theory. When I talk about bridging the gap of emotional science, I'm talking about from the brain all the way down to the whole body, okay? We know that the brain is an active participant. Actually, we know that the mind is more of an active participant, and the brain is something we can adapt to or learn from. Awesome. But I want to before I get to the brain and the mind and in the body, a lot of us majority of people live in trauma. And the trauma is caused by X, such a variable. You may not ever know what the X is until you do some type of therapy, regressive therapy, or any of the other amazing sciences that are out there to help you understand where your trauma extends from. Great. And so if you don't mind, I'm going to walk this board through. So you have a trauma, doesn't matter where it's from. In that trauma, what do you think keeps the trauma active?
The mind.
The mind. Is it the mind or the brain?
Brain. Memory?
No, it's the mind. So the mind, let me define what the mind is for you. The mind, there's so many different words for it, and I've called it the crock-pot mind or the monkey mind. People call it the monkey mind. But the mind is the most over-aggressive protector in your whole existence of life. So if you ever heard of an overprotective mother, your mind supersedes that 1,000 times because it keeps cataloging the information. So if you split the mind between the brain, the mind is the mechanical part. The brain is the conscious part, subconscious part. That's the part we can work on. Because the mind is just bringing in information. Through what parts? We have 5 of them. Senses, right. Which part has the strongest of action of the mind? It's sight. It's 30%. 30%. Now, which is the strongest of the senses? It's smell. So you see how the mind is starting, it just keeps pulling in these pieces, right? If I see something I wasn't too comfortable with, so now I see this picture I wasn't too comfortable with, right? The mind knows how uncomfortable I am. So as I walk into an area, my mind has already scanned this, and it knows exactly where this is. And it triggers the trauma. So the mind says, Paul, not just in short, but distract you to turn your head so I will never see this. It does that to protect you. In that protection, in the brain, we have the front, the sides, and the back. When that protection happens, where do you think it happens in the brain? Do you know? The front, the sides, or the back? The what? The back. The back. You know it's called the amygdala, right? Most people know the amygdala is a freeze, flight, or flight. That's because that is all conditionary of survival. So the mind works in conditions. It just keeps wanting to protect you, never wanting any harm from you, never wanting you to display anything that's going to upset you. It always wants you to be in blissfulness. So what other may call suppression, the mind is like, I'm not suppressing, I'm protecting. That makes sense. Because it cares for you. It's yours. What I'm hoping to get people to do is understand that you have to live and develop consciousness, and you've heard that term before, with your subconsciousness to live what you call a singularity action of life instead of a duality, of splitting between your rear and your front. And to do that,
you must put in the work. So, I hope that I'm not going to play the whole video. That's not going to happen. You can always catch the rest of the video or the lecture on my YouTube channel. But I want you to understand that you can take action of your own personal brain. You can dictate what your mind is doing. Don't let it run amok on you, which causes the trauma to keep circulating and constantly going over and over. Your life is important. Always catch us on the BBM Global Network, Monday live at 8 p.m. And I'm Dr. Paul. You have a great day and blessing.